We are talking about networking. I've got 3 pages of information we're going to talk about tonight, so we're going to go in on it. What's up, future doctors? Honey Moore says, so what up, everybody? Good evening. Networking, it's so important, guys. Today we're talking about it, specifically how to make a strong first impression, which is where the networking starts. And for you guys who don't understand how important networking is, Harvard, the Carnegie Foundation, and Stanford concluded in their research that 15% of your career success come from your hard skills and your knowledge. But 85% of your career success is going to come from your ability to connect with other people, engender trust, and respect from them, right? So our soft skills. So when you build this network, guys, it spirals and it builds your career, and it's ultra important. 85% of your success is going to come from your ability to communicate effectively, to get people to like you, to get people to trust you, and to get people to do things for you on your behalf to move you forward in your career. Hello, Ms. Hello. So we're going to be talking about that today. I break everything into systems, right? So when it comes to networking, I say there are 4 phases to the networking game. 4 phases. The first phase is creating networking and relationship opportunities. So we have to create the opportunity to forge a relationship, right? We have to create exactly what? 85%. We have to create the opportunities for these relationships to form. The second stage is once we've created opportunities for a relationship to form, is that we must establish a relationship, right? We have to establish a relationship. The third thing is we have to deepen that relationship to make the relationship super strong, fortified, and useful to us for the fourth and final stage of relationships, which is leveraging that relationship for our benefit, right? That's the whole point of networking is you want to build this network so you can take advantage of this network and you can elevate your career. So these are the 4 phases of networking. Today, we're going to start with how we're creating these network opportunities. What 3 things we're going to talk about today. And so we're going to talk about it today. We're going to get into it. Are you guys excited? If you guys have questions, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff about networking and soft skills and building your career on this channel, on this show. So if you have questions, if you have things you want to talk about, put them in the comment box below. I'll make sure to get to them and make sure we address them in different videos, guys. So I'm going to hit the intro. Then we're going to get right into it, guys. Learning, getting better today. But stop making excuses. Stop whining. Stop, right? Get at it. No excuses. Just dominate. Back from this. All right, we are live. Like I said, guys, today we're talking about ways to make a strong impression, and it starts in that first box, that creating relationship opportunities. So we're gonna do 3 simple strategies. Networking is hugely important, guys, because it's so hard in this day and age to do things alone. We need to have a network of people who can help us, who can support us, who can propel us forward in ways that maybe we couldn't do ourselves. And for you guys out there who think, oh, I can do it by myself, I got this, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I was one of those. Okay, I was like, I came up in a space where I felt like I had to do everything on my own. And so for me, networking was hard to get into because I always feel like, man, if I'm gonna make it happen, I gotta do it on my own. It's my responsibility. And so for me to say, wait, why don't I let someone help me was hard. And because of that, my path to becoming the doctor I became and getting where I came was harder because I didn't spend the time early on building that network. But then once I realized that and I started building my network, it really amplified me. Because the point of networking is that you want to establish your list of contacts. But what's cool and where the power of networking comes in is when you establish these lists of contacts, and then these people care about you enough, trust you enough, respect you enough to then open up their web of contacts. And it becomes this whole big, huge web of connectedness that allows you to leapfrog into very important people or into very important positions that can help you. And so networking is really powerful. And today we're doing 3 strategies for the first impression. And as I learned from a very important movie in my life, Hitch, I went and studied abroad in college. And when I went and studied abroad, this is how old I am. Back in my day, we didn't have streaming. We didn't have all this digital downloads. So I had DVDs because I was like, oh, I'm going to be out of the country for all summer. I got to have something to watch in my downtime. So I went to the barbershop and I bought bootleg DVDs. My people maybe know about going to the barbershop and buying bootleg DVDs. I bought bootleg DVDs. And one of the DVDs that was the best quality was Hitch with Will Smith. And so because it was such good quality, I must have watched that movie about 1,000 times. And so I've memorized every line. But one of the things that Will Smith says in it and talks about, right, he's this dating expert who's helping these guys get their stuff together, is that we get one chance to make that first impression. And a good first impression can end in happily ever after versus a bad impression can tank everything. Everything. right? Asher, I saw your message this morning. I just saw your message, so I'll get back to you. I just saw your message this morning. Your email came in yesterday. Yeah. So the very first thing, guys, that we have to do if we want to be successful, we want to make a strong first impression, is the very first step. Actually happens before we get to the networking event. We must plan for our networking. I can't tell you how many times students are at a networking event with absolutely zero plan of what they're going to do, what they're trying to execute. And because of that, they don't have their goals aligned. They cannot execute. They're like all over the place when they talk to them, like, slow down. What is it that you want? How exactly can I help you, sir or madam? Right? I have to help them help themselves. And so what I want you guys to do is start there. So step one for making a great first impression is to first make a plan. Every time you have a networking opportunity, which is basically any time you could possibly ever interact with someone in a professional space, you should be on. Even in the personal space, you never know how your personal connections can leverage you up. You should recognize, okay, this is the event. Okay, I'm going to this conference, right? Now, what is a conference good for? What are my goals at this specific conference? Okay, now that this is my goal, I want to meet someone who can help me get into a research lab. Okay, perfect. That's my goal. Now, once we have a goal and we're clear on that, we can then formulate our plan for making that happen. And by doing that, guys, it's so powerful. When you take the time before networking to actually plan it out, it's so powerful. One, because it gets our mind right. And for a lot of us, me included, we're not the social butterflies, right? It makes us nervous to go talk, right? It makes us nervous to approach the strangers and start up a conversation and try to be interesting and entertain them and so forth, right? And so if we can be clear on what we're trying to achieve, we can be clear on how we're going to go about that and some basic steps that we're going to take to achieve that goal, it lowers that anxiety, guys, right? Because if we're prepared, if we have a plan, it always brings anxiety down. Just like with studying, right? My 5 pillars, we get a plan together, then man, that study anxiety right away. And it's the same thing with these networking opportunities. The anxiety will drop when you take the time to establish a goal and a plan to get to that goal. The second part of that, and the reason it's important, is because now that you actually have a plan, you aren't the person who's all over the place. You aren't the person who's running around talking to random people who won't help you accomplish your goal. Instead, you can be laser targeted with who you want to talk to, how you want to talk to them, and how you expect things to end. Yes, yes? Yeah, it can be awkward, I agree. Self-promotion and selling yourself can be very awkward if you don't have a plan to do it and execute it. And that's what we're talking about. And I'll give you an example of this. So I'm glad you commented that, right? The example of this for me, guys, in terms of making a plan and executing it, is that I knew I wanted to go into anesthesia, right? I knew I wanted to do anesthesia, and I knew I wanted to do anesthesia in Southern California. And so when I was in medical school, I said, listen, part of getting into residency, it's subjective. So it's about who you know and who knows you and who wants you as a positive addition to their program, right? They want you to be someone they're going to want to hang around with all the time. And anesthesia is it somebody you want with you in the trenches in the OR at 2 a.m. when you're doing that long transplant or whatever. Is it someone you wouldn't mind being locked behind a curtain with, right, on the other side away from all the surgeons for hours at a time? And so I realized that networking is very important. And so I said, okay, well, my goal is to make the right connections to help me get into residency. So I established my goal of networking in medical school was to help me get the residency. So then I could say, okay, wait, who are the people I need to talk to get a residency position? Okay, well, it's program directors and it's Department of Anesthesia chairs. So then when I went to networking events, when I went to social hours, when I went to journal clubs, I was always looking for a program chair, right? Or I was looking for a program director, a department chair or a program director. Those are the people I was trying to get to. In addition, by identifying those people, I could then identify these stepping stones to those people. So the people who had access to these VIPs. And so for me, right, I would say, okay, listen, I want to get to this program director. Well, said program director has a administrator who works with them, under them, who coordinates their schedule and so forth. So then I would go introduce myself and get buddy-buddy with that administrator who then could make the introduction to me to that program director or get me on the calendar to see said program director and so forth. Does that make sense? So one of the connections I made was with an administrator at one of these anesthesia departments who then was able to tell me which conferences the program director I wanted to talk to was going to be at. That allowed me to plan and not go to all the different conferences. It allowed me to know that, oh, he's going to be at this conference. That's where I got to be. And so I saved myself money. Then when I went to that conference, it was already clear who I was going to talk to. Now I know who I'm going to talk to. It gives me opportunity to do background research. So then I researched him, figured out what he was into. I'm like, oh, he's outdoorsy and he's into his family. Okay, great. I like family too. I don't have a family yet, but I want a family. That's going to be something we can talk about. Like boom, boom, and all these aspects. And so I would have this list of talking points that were things that he liked and that I liked to build that conversation on. We're going to talk about building conversation, how you do it in a little bit. But does that make sense? We're doing this background work. Is everybody still with me? Everybody can hear me? We're live action, so I never know what's happening right now. If you were not on my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel right now, we are live action. We are live action. Get to my YouTube or my Facebook right now. Right now. This is Study Doc Show, y'all. Can I sip water since we're live? Okay, everybody still with me? Okay. This all makes sense to everybody, okay? So I identified this guy. I worked the ladder, right? So I know who do I want to talk to, and then I had a strategy for how to get to them. I got to them, figured out what conference to go to. So now I know who I want to talk to. It allows me to do the background research, to have the talking points together, so that way I'm not making up stuff on the spot. I already know what's going to tickle his fancy, right? So we can connect. We can establish that rapport, right? I'm creating the opportunity for the relationship. Does everybody understand what we're doing here? So then I went to that conference. We're live action. Come here. My daughter's coming in. Cameron, what's up? Oh, she just wanted to distract us. She wanted to network with y'all. Love it, guys. The beauty of live action. Can I get a like for my daughter coming in here and not disturbing our life, enhancing our life, right? Enhancing our life. So I was saying, so I got to go to this conference, have these talking points, so that way I don't have to make it up on the spot. I feel more confident. And then when I got to this conference, I knew what he looked like. I knew approximately where he would be. And I had my talking points, so then I could approach him confidently and do the things we're going to talk about in a second to create the conversation, push the conversation, make the connection, and eventually end up going to that residency program or that program director, and it all started with that relationship. So does everybody understand the first step is this preparation phase that's going to set everything in motion for you to be successful in your networking? Does all this make sense to everybody? That's the first step. Okay, we're going to do 3 steps. Let me reset what we're talking about, guys, for people who are just hopping on late because we are live action. If we are live, you know someone needs the benefit, they need networking. I want you to take a second right now. I want you to share this video with them. Send it out to them, post it to them. Hey, this is Dr. P's live action. Right now on Wednesday, this is Study Doc Show, y'all. Every week I'm going to have new episodes for you guys. We're going to have the podcast going on. It's going to be hot fire. Jacob in the building. What up? So, I just saw Hadi on here. Hadi, I also owe you an email. I know you texted me. So, yes, I will get on that. I know that. Bradford says he can hear me. All right, makes perfect sense. NK, I like it. Macy on here. Hello, Macy. We have coaching next week, everybody. So people who are in my programs, you guys know we have coaching next week. So I'll see you guys next week. Very exciting. That's number 1. Miza, I am not always live at the same time every week. I like to, when it hits me, I like to be live action, right? So I like to bring you guys stuff that's important, stuff that means something to me. And so I'm not always live at the same time, but the way you can make sure you catch me is that we are live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel first of all, right? The Study Doc, subscribe. Then hit the little bell icon to toggle on live notifications. And then YouTube will literally send you a message, say, hey, Dr. P's live, come get this information. It's time to get educated, okay? So that's what you gotta do. So number 1, the first step that we're doing in our 3 strategies for making great first impressions is that we're gonna prepare for the moment so we can seize that moment. We're gonna prepare. The second thing, right? So now we've prepared. Now we're at the event. We're at the networking opportunity. We are there. How do we make a strong first impression? Who thinks appearance is our next step? Yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I love it. New subscribers. If you are not subscribed, subscribe right now, guys. Like this video. Let the algorithm know Dr. P's on here. Give it. Amanda on Facebook. I like that too. We are Facebook and YouTube simultaneously right now, y'all. Who thinks appearance is the first thing you're doing to make that impression? Someone said yes, 100%. Appearance, right? What you're wearing. That's not correct, guys. That's actually number 2. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I hit that kind of briefly. It's a smaller tab here. But the first thing is not our appearance. It's our attitude. It's our attitude. Now I'm going to get into what this means, okay, in a second. But as I say, attitude is more important than the appearance, what you're wearing, how you're groomed. I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes with me. Your eyes are closed. Okay? You're out at the club, because we all go to the club, right? We shake it up a little bit. Look at these shoulders. These is club shoulders right here, right? You're out at the club. Someone can have on a crazy outfit. Two guys, same outfit, right? It's the really loud Versace shirt, all unbuttoned, right? Only one button is done. You can see their navel, right? It's all V-necked up, right? Two guys, same outfit. One guy has a bad attitude about him, right? Like he's doubting himself, like he's not confident, like he's unsure about that shirt. How does that outfit reflect? Versus you have the other guy who's in it to win it and believes that shirt is the fieriest, it's the hottest item anyone's ever worn. How does that come across to you? Right? It makes a huge difference. So attitude, the right attitude can supersede an outfit, or it can, right, negate your outfit. So attitude is more important than appearance. Real Dr. Rich on here. What up? So when it comes to attitude, I like this quote. Norman Vincent Peale said, "There is real magic in enthusiasm. It spells the difference between mediocrity and accomplishment." And I love that quote, guys, because we often fail or overlook the power of simple enthusiasm, of having the right attitude and relating that attitude to others, because others can feel our attitude if we allow them to, if we push it forward. And with the right attitude, we push that out there, right? So we want to give off that good attitude that's going to attract people to us. They're going to be drawn to us like a magic. You ever guys feel like that someone has this charisma, right? They have this energy about them. What you're describing is their attitude. And so the ways that we reflect our attitude is in our face, is in how we stand, our postures, and then also how we speak. So does everybody understand those same things? Face, posture, so body language, and then also our words that are coming through with that body language. So from across the room, you can invite someone like this, right? Some of this, right? That's how we invite people to us, right? We can do that in subtler ways in professional settings, and that's what we're talking about, right? So with our attitude, the very first thing is how we carry ourselves from a distance. So the first thing people see about you is posture. And one of the things we can do to make ourselves seen and be a magnet to people is to carry ourselves with magnitude, with grandeur, right? Like we are big, the shoulders are back, the chest is puffed, we are out here, we are taking up space in the room. It makes us bigger. And people see our physical appearance, right, as something that is projected into our personality. So if you are big and you're taking space in the room and you're confident that, yeah, I'm holding this space, I'm holding it down, people are like, dang, I gotta talk to that person. He's got a power position in the room. He's holding this room down. I gotta go talk to them. So if you guys can improve your posture, stand up straight, get the shoulders back, get the chest out, right? Get the hands out in front of you, be ready. People who are nervous, put the hands in the pockets. So we don't stand with our hands in the pocket, we've got our hands out, we're ready. We're talking with our hands, we're expressive, right? In addition to that posture, we're also bringing the face with it, y'all. Smile, y'all. Even if you don't want to be here, if you smile, it gives a warmth. It gives a, hey, I'm here to have a good time. I'm excited to be here. I'm enthusiastic. Come share in some of this enthusiasm. A smile is welcoming and warming. You should be smiling. I can't tell you how many times I see students who are in their own head trying to plot their plan for what they're going to say, and they forget their face. So they're sitting there like, I'm like, and you see them, right? Anybody seen this? Just me? Am I the only one who, because I go to a lot of conferences and I see the students that want to talk to me, and so I can literally see them calculating in their mind how they're going to approach me. Instead of just being like, hey, Dr. Pinesett, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Like, smile and come get me. Like, you don't have to, it's like, oh gosh, this is painful. I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Pinesett. Like, smile, let me feel like you want to be here, and I'll say, hey, come on over, let's talk, right? I'll come grab you. Hey, you, right? Fix your face, people, exactly. Fix your face, right? Yusuf said I've done that. Don't be that person. Be a smiley person. Bring the teeth forward. Our head is not down. Oftentimes, right, I'll see students, they're holding their piece of paper, they're holding whatever, they're fiddling around their purse, they're looking down. The head is up. We are open. Hey, how's it going? All right, all right. We're here. We're excited. We're making eye contact. We're looking at people. Hey, all right. No, you guy. You're the man, right? We're making that contact. We're forging those distant connections before we even say a word. So that way it's just natural. Hey, I was open. You was open. Now we open together. We're communicating. We're creating the opportunity for a relationship to happen, right? My father, who always had wise pieces of quotes and stuff to give me, told me when it was my first dance. It was my first dance. I don't know if you guys remember first dance. I was just talking about this at work. We were in the OR, and a song came on. It was Casey and JoJo, All My Life. Do you guys remember Casey and JoJo, All My Life? Or is that too old for some of you guys? That's an always classic. I'm sure even you young people, you have that at school dances. I'm so old, that song came out when I was in 6th grade. And so 6th grade ends, and then 7th grade starts. And that fall of 7th grade, they had that first school dance. And you remember that first school dance? It's from like 5 o'clock to 6:30. It's like an hour and a half. But it's like the biggest event of your life, right? It's like, oh, it's my chance. I'm a young teenage boy. I can meet some girls. We're going to be dancing. It's going to be crazy, right? And so Casey and JoJo come on All My Life at the dance. And I have on a silk, silver FUBU shirt. Yeah, it's fire. I also went to the mall and I got a little tiny baby chain. And it had a little tiny baby tinfoil Superman logo on it. Okay? So now close your eyes. Picture young Dr. Pinesett. Silk FUBU shirt. Fire. Little baby chain. Fire. Superman tag. Fire. And then I also got to match it, the little baby bracelet. So baby bracelet, baby chain, FUBU, Superman. It was amazing. And all I wanted to do was dance with a young lady. And I was nervous going to dance. My dad could tell. My dad said, hey, son, don't be nervous. Let me tell you something. There's a song. This is way off topic. This is important. Okay? Okay, well, I'll save that for another day. We were getting off track here. But the point is this. Should I say it? No, we'll skip that, okay? So what we'll say is that you want to be open to opportunities, to create that opportunity. So we want to be smiling, we want to have great posture, all that stuff, invite people in, okay? That's the first part of our attitude. The other part of our attitude that people often overlook is our speech. And it's not necessarily what we say exactly, but it's how we say it and the angle we approach things with. And so what I want you guys to do, to take this to mind, write this down, I want you guys to be positive speakers. Positive speakers. So ask yourself before you say anything in a conversation, is this a positive comment? If your comment is not positive, do not say it. And you may think, oh, this is obvious. But for many of us, when we are nervous, our default mechanism is to be negative, is to find commonality and to uplift ourselves by being negative either about someone or something. How many of you guys have been in an event and someone says something negative, you're like, oh yeah, the food does suck. And you're like, oh, why am I saying that? Well, I'm saying that because I'm nervous, and saying the food sucks makes me feel like I suck less because the food is so sucky. I'm not that sucky. And then you feel better, right? So we don't want to talk negative. We don't want to be a Debbie Downer. We want to be someone who uplifts, who brings positivity to the conversation, who brings energy, that enthusiasm to the conversation. So we want to only say positive things, nothing negative, okay? Be the positive person. Lead with your optimism. Someone said, eek, guilty. Yes, I know it. I feel it, right? That's why we like gossip so much. Like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Remember The Dirt? This is another old reference. Who remembers The Dirt? The Dirty? No one remembers that? TheDirty.com? No one... they shut that down quick. I mean, I guess Facebook came around, so then you didn't really need it. But TheDirty.com used to be a website. It was like, I don't even know, but it was like people who posted like when stuff was going down, like the gossip. People go in there and feel better about their Friday nights. It's like, well, yeah, I might have done this on my Friday, but at least I didn't do that because I was on the dirty, right? So we like negativity. Don't be that. Be positive, okay? So our attitude. That's the second thing, okay? The first, we prepare. The second thing is our attitude. Does everybody understand what I'm saying about that attitude to create this opportunity? Okay? 2B is appearance. So I'm going to briefly hit appearance, because there's lots of stuff out there about appearance, right? I cover it in excruciating detail in my Dominate Premed program, in my interview course, in excruciating detail. But a couple key things I want to point out about appearance that people often get wrong. when we talk about how you look at a conference or at a social hour, a lot of people equate looking fancy and fancy dress as appropriate attire. But what I want you guys to understand is it's not about being fancy, it's about being appropriate and matching the venue. And I've seen people who are wearing a full-fledged suit at a 3 p.m. happy hour. You look ridiculous. Don't do it, you're overdressed. I've seen people wear a tux to a medical conference. I kid you not, a tux. Why are you in a tux at the medical conference? You'd have much better served going with the slacks and the polo shirt. You went over the top and now you look like a weirdo. You look like an oddball. And when we overdress for occasions, which so often happens, we're not appropriate, we're not fitting the atmosphere, it makes us stand out like a sore thumb, and it makes us come off as odd, like we don't understand social norms, and so it's not inviting, it's not creating for relationships. Like, who wants to know the weirdo in the tux at 2 p.m? No one wants to know you. So we want to create opportunities for networking, and so we want to have our attire be appropriate for the occasion. Your coordinated outfits matter, guys. Don't piece together random stuff in your closet and call that business professional. Your suit jacket not matching your suit pants is off-putting. We hate it, right? Your shoes not matching your belt and so forth. Basic rules of dress are problematic. So coordinate your outfit. Simple way to do this and to be ready for all occasions. For my fellas, don't go out and buy all these suits. Buy one really nice blazer. Because that blazer, everyone understands it's a blazer, not a suit jacket, which is different. People understand that. A blazer is different from a suit jacket. Get a blazer, and that blazer can go business casual. That blazer can go a little more formal. That blazer will carry you through all sorts of events you might have to go through. And we know it doesn't matter because it's a blazer. And so it's okay. So you can wear it with a variety of different pants and so forth, dress it up, dress it down. And it works across a broad spectrum. So it's a cheap way to look professional in a variety of settings. For my ladies, a pencil skirt is the money. The pencil skirt is the money. Why? Because you can dress it up or down with your top half, with your shoes. And so by doing so, we buy one garment for my fellas, one garment for my ladies, and we're good on multiple occasions. So that's that. The other thing that gets people is not just the clothes you wear, but how they're presented. Guys, learn how to iron. Truthfully. My dad taught me how to iron when I was a young kid. It's super important. You learn how to iron. When I went for my med school interviews, my aunt bought me a steamer, a travel steamer. I was like, what am I doing with a travel steamer? Turns out that thing is amazing because you pull it out wherever you go. Your suit's a little wrinkled. Pop that steamer on, and then bam, all the wrinkles fall away. If your outfit is nice, but it's wrinkled to all get out, it looks bad. It looks janky, right? It looks disheveled. It looks disorganized. And when your clothes are disorganized, people think your mind is disorganized. They think you're a disorganized person. They're not going to want to network with you and work with you professionally. So get that steamer, get that iron, get that going, okay? The last thing is hair. So this often comes up. How many of you guys have heard different things about hair and what it means for your professionalism and for your networking and so forth? Okay? Here's my 5 cents. Your hair should fit norms until you get to a place in your career where your success and your track record exceeds the needs to be normal. Did that hit home? Did everybody understand what I just said right there? Your hair should fit with societal norms until you reach a place in your career where your accomplishments, where your reputation, where your track record speaks for itself. At that point, you've reached a point in your career where your hair and your facial hair and so forth doesn't have to fit social norms. Then you can do the crazy stuff. But until you reach that point in your career and you're begging for crumbs and no one knows anything about you and you never accomplish anything, it helps you to comply with what is considered a normal range and scope of hair. With that being said, you can have more extreme hairstyles. So for example, one that comes up all the time is dreadlocks. I'm not a fan of dreadlocks, but if you're going to have dreadlocks early in your career, right? Jay-Z got dreadlocks now because he's a $1 billion man. But he didn't have no dreadlocks in the beginning. But for you guys, if you're going to have dreadlocks, treat your dreadlocks. So turn your dreadlocks into a controlled hairstyle. So for my ladies, put the ponytail up. For my guys, braid it in the back. Do something so it's neater and tidier to fit with the occasion. So you take something that's more radical and you bring it more moderate, right? In time of election season, right? You're taking the radical, bringing it to the moderate. That's what we're doing with the hairpiece. Does that make sense? Additionally, to my ladies, and my fellows with long hair, it makes you look like a clown show if you are constantly wiping your hair out of your face. Don't be that person. Invest in a hair tie, invest in a hair clip, invest in some hair gel, invest in some shears, and cut them gosh darn bangs. Nobody wants you to be sitting here with one eye covered or spend half the conversation going like this, like this. It's so distracting. How can I connect with you if you're constantly doing this? Or if I'm mysterious, like, ooh, what does that other eye look like? I have no idea. You got an eye patch on. Keep the hair out your face. It's so distracting. Don't do that, okay? So that's quickly about appearance. Are we still all good? Should we keep going? We're at 30 minutes. Can I keep going? I like that. People comment on the different hair in the box. Exactly. You are not that person. Get your hair together. And guys, FUBU was popping, okay? When I'm talking about this was back in I was young in 1935. FUBU was hot, okay? Silk was hot. Velour suits, hot. What you know about that? Hot in here was hot. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Dijon in the building. What up? So, if you guys are having fun with me, if you guys are enjoying this video, take a second and like this video. Let me know that I'm talking to someone, that I'm not alone in this world. Comment. Let me know that I'm not alone out here all by myself. I can sing, y'all. Whitney Houston style. Okay. The third thing we're going to talk about is that we want to optimize our receptiveness. This is so important. Hear me and hear me now, guys. The key to making a strong first impression and making people want to see you a second time is to optimize your receptiveness. What do I mean by that, guys? Well, first, it starts with listening. Again, as someone who talks at a lot of conferences, I can't tell you how annoying it is to be, quote unquote, having a conversation with someone and they ask me something, and then while I'm talking, I can see the wheels turning in their head. They're not even listening to me. They're trying to think of the next clever thing they're going to say or ask me to look impressive, instead of actually listening to me and allowing the conversation to progress. And by doing so, they alienate me for a couple reasons. One, immediately I feel like my words are being wasted. And so when I feel like you're wasting my words, why should I waste more words on you? And it makes me want to shut up, turn, and start talking to someone else. That's the first thing. The second thing is when I see that you are not actually listening to me, right? I know now that you have an agenda. And I don't feel like we're having an organic conversation and you genuinely want to get to know me or you genuinely want to learn from me. I feel like you're over here using me and poking me and prodding me and not being sensitive to my delicate feelings and caring about me as the person. And so because of that, I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to push you away. So we don't want to alienate people with our inability to listen. So we must listen, okay? Additionally, when you spend time thinking of your question or what you're going to say next, instead of listening to what I'm saying, what you create is not a truly fluid conversation. You create an inauthentic, robotic conversation where one question to the next question is not related, and it seems like an inquisition where you're hurling questions at me as opposed to us having an actual dialogue back and forth. And a dialogue is two people connecting, right? It's two people connecting. You questioning me is an interrogation. It makes me feel like I'm on the first 48. So we want to have a natural flowing dialogue where we are building that relationship. And so it's so important that you guys go into your networking opportunities looking to listen and to hear and not be heard. Does that make sense to everybody? If you want to be a great networker and want to be a great first impression, don't try to be the loudest one in the room. Don't try to dominate the conversation. Instead, try to create the opportunity to listen and to hear others. Because you're not going to put them off, but then even more, you're going to pull them closer to you. Because we are humans. Our core desire is to feel valued and important and heard and listened to, right? That's why we love social media. Oh my gosh, so-and-so loves that I'm a failure. They hear me, they understand. Dr. Pinesett is always telling me I could be better. But this person says that me being a failure is totally acceptable. They've been there, they're still there. They suck, I suck, we can suck together. Oh my gosh. No, right? But that's our nature. We want to be heard. So when you're trying to network and establish a connection with people, you want to make them feel heard. So listen actively. As an extension of that, guys, be a person who asks questions of others and lets them lead the conversation. So ask a question, listen, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then show them that you are actively listening and that you want to hear from them by asking framed questions. So I call them flattery framed questions. Write that down. Flattery framed questions. So you might come up to me and say, hey, Dr. Pinesett, I've seen your YouTube channel at the Study Doc. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Your website, study.com, it's amazing. I'm in your program. It's amazing. Everything's amazing. That's flattery. I've now framed, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. This person loves me. This is amazing. Now, when you ask me a question, it's framed in flattery. So you say, hey, so one question I had was, how did you get involved in research? Or what research did you do as an undergrad, right? You ask me that question. I then tell you about my research. You listen. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Dr. Pinesett did research, as you hear me, in an engineering lab, in an aerospace engineering lab. What? That is weird. I'm going to ask him about that because it is weird. Hey, Dr. Pinesett, I can't believe that. Oh, wow. You worked in an aerospace engineering lab? I hear so often that I have to work in a basic science lab. How did you get involved in that lab? And would you recommend that for me? Do you see? Oh, wow. That's different. That's unique. That's amazing. That's different from what I've heard before. You are unique. You are special. Tell me more about that. So it's a flattery framed question that continues the conversation and makes them feel like you really are engaged and interested in learning about them and connecting with them and getting to know them as opposed to pimping them for something you need. Like the video, comment right now if we're crystal clear on that. Yes, yes? We're gaining their appreciation. We are gaining, like, oh man, I appreciate all this person's ingratiating themselves to me. They're making me feel like they care about me and all this kind of stuff, right? Lastly, if we're asking lots of questions, what you're doing is you're gaining information. And it's information that can be used, like I talked about earlier, preparing ourselves as fuel to connect with them further. So when you ask people a question, people are going to talk about what's interesting to them. So when you ask them about research, you ask them about their journey, and they start hitting on certain aspects of their journey, they're telling you that that part is important to them. So now you can start leaning into that and talking about those aspects. You can start then saying, oh yeah, you know what? I have a dog too. Oh, you know what? I want to go to space too. I want to blah, blah. You can start connecting with them on a deeper level than other people who have their preformed questions and are just throwing questions at them. We're now having a dialogue and we're connecting and we're pulling ourselves together. Yes, yes? As part of that optimizing our receptiveness, we want to reciprocate what's happening in the conversation. So when someone says something to you, don't be judgy, don't be standoffish, don't be confrontational, don't be opposed. Relate to them. So say me too, me also. Furthermore, I couldn't agree more, and continue the conversation. Pull yourself closer to them in values and principles and thought and speech. Pull yourself to them. Mirror their body language. If they're talking a lot, very animated. If you guys see me, I'm very animated. In person, I'm the same way. I'm animated. I'm here. So meet my animation. Oh, we here. Oh. Right? I'm a hugger. You want to hug? Oh, we hugging. If I go to hug you, don't be like, oh, poo. Right? Come on. Right? Match. If I'm excited, you be excited. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? We're excited. We're here. So we want to reciprocate what they're putting out to make them feel like we are one. We are humming at the same frequency for my MCAT people. Yes? All right, I have more, but we're going to stop. Okay. Guys, was this fun today? Is this good? Live action? 39 minutes on this Wednesday. We were talking about it. We are live action on YouTube, Facebook. I'm Dr. Pinesett, the Study Doc Show. We have talked about 3 strategies for making a great first impression. As I said, networking is 4 stages. First, we create relationship opportunities. Second, we establish a relationship. Third, we deepen that relationship. And fourth, we leverage that relationship. I'm going to be putting together for you guys on this channel a bunch of videos about networking. Come tune in. Get more of this stuff. If you have specific questions about networking or about anything, Get to my website, thestudydoc.com. I have a page on there. It's Ask Dr. Pinesett. It's linked in the description of this video. You can click there. You can leave me a voicemail. I have already started filming these. I'm very excited. I have a whole library of them now. Like, ooh, they're coming together. So we're going to start releasing those next week. I'm going to be answering your questions like this tonight, specific to your questions. So, hey, Dr. Pinesett, my name is Miza, and I have a question about X. Here's the situation. Boop, 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 boop. I will then take that voicemail and I will create an entire episode out of it where I'm going to talk directly to you and give you step-by-step. Because everything I teach, right, it's always step-by-step solution to your issue to help you, right, get better, propel forward. It's an opportunity to pull me into your network, right? Ooh, as we bring it all together, right, networking. So get to my website, fill that out. Also, if you have a question specifically related to networking, go ahead and type it in the box right here. Comment below the video. I'll read those comments. I'll get back to you. I'll make more videos and so forth so we can keep this thing going, guys. If you were the first time here, take the time, subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on live notifications, guys. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, welcome to the podcast. Hello. Make sure you guys favorite this. Make sure you share it with some people because we're going to be hitting it hard this year. Bring you guys some stuff. I'm very excited. Application season is winding down. My students have applied. We are past that, so now we can move on, focus on you guys. So thank you guys for joining me so much. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to end this one over here. We'll end that. Discard that. Perfect. I appreciate you guys so much. And like I said, we're going to be back. New video every Wednesday. I'm live randomly, so turn on the live notifications, turn on the notifications. Get at me on here. And thank you guys as always. Have a wonderful evening. How do we always end? I don't have my shirt on. I got the scrubs on to come back from work. But how do we always end? No excuses, just dominate, guys. No matter what you're facing, no matter the obstacles and so forth. You can overcome it. You can get there. But we got to get solution-oriented and get ourselves educated. And that's what I do for you guys. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. That's it for another episode of the Study Doc Show. Show your love by smashing the like button and commenting in the box below. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future into your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better? Get to my website, thestudydoc.com. Grab a free ebook. Sign up for a free webinar. And if you're really ready to transform, enroll in one of my life-changing courses or coaching programs. You have greatness inside you. Let me show you how to unlock it so you can dominate and make your dreams a reality. No excuses, just dominate.